Well, Coach, I mean, it's unusual, but how did you like the open week, kind of the bye week, no midweek game?
You know, it really was unusual. I guess because I guess it's when we used to play the Big 12 Challenge, and we tried to stay in rhythm, but yet tried to get rest, both mentally and physically for our guys. And but it was different. But now we're back into it. From here on out, there's no more open weeks, and both us and Vanderbilt had them this week, and so do I think it was good? I hope so.
You referenced it being a big week for the young guys. What did they get to do, and what did you see out of those guys?
Well, again, they put time in, and like we always say, those young guys need all the work they can get. I thought they had a good attitude about it, and they have put time into it, and we still need to get those guys. Because we're going. I keep saying it, and we're going to need them all at some point in time, and hopefully this week's been a good week for them.
I think it's top 10 teams are only winning 38% of their games on the road against non-top 25 teams this year. Just how have you kind of seen that trend grow in that direction in college basketball the last few years?
Well, one, I think there's a number of things that go into it. Obviously, everybody's going to look at the portal and say that you can get guys to do it, but I think sometimes you look at the maturity of teams, and and it's hard to win on the road. I mean, last night I walked in late, but was watching this the very end of the South Carolina women, LSU women. That was a hard game, and it just a great win for South Carolina in a great atmosphere. And fans come, they want to come and support their team, and so I think when you go on the road, you know what you're going to get from every situation. And but I can even say playing at home, it's difficult. I mean, I don't think anybody feels comfortable playing at home, but when you go on the road, you know that if you're not taking care of the details, you're going to get beat. And I think, again, whether it's a trend in college basketball or not, it's there, and it does seem like we see more of it. And I would have to think that it's because the portal's allowed a lot of teams maybe to get older and improve their rosters.
What leads to an upset in your mind? Just is it more so teams playing up, or is it more so just whoever the favorite may be isn't executing?
Well, I don't think you can ever take away from the team that wins. I mean, if you lose a game, you got beat. Whether you can say, well, we beat ourselves. I think every coach, after most games, could look and say, if we did this or we did that, we could have won the game. We had a chance to win the game. Should have won the game. But the fact is, you didn't, because the other team did what they needed to do to win the game. And so I think the credit's always got to go to the team that wins the game, because some way, somehow, I'm sure it's never been perfect anywhere, but the fact is they took care of the necessity with the details and the game plan, what they needed to do. And teams that, whether you call them upsets or not, you got to, there's such a fine line between winning and losing. I've often said that before you talk about winning, you need to make sure your players understand that what goes into losing. Most of the time it's lack of effort, mentally and physically, and not taking care of the details.
What stands out about Vanderbilt?
Just dynamic backcourt play. I mean, maybe as good a backcourt combination as there is in the league, and you all know the respect that I have for Coach Stackhouse and the way he builds his program, and he's had some tough luck, obviously, but when I look at it, someone was asking me the other day about him, and I was just talking about one, he's has great schemes, really a lot of really good schemes. They're playing some different defenses, multiple defenses, so you're going to see some pressure, you see some full court pressure, a little 1-3-1, their man defense, and have shown 2-3, but it's what he does not only with his schemes, but I think they do as good a job as any coach in the country at developing players the way they do, and so obviously I have the utmost respect for him and what he's doing there.
Coach, obviously Dalton's still in all the headlines, but how much is Jonas helping him, like just freeing stuff up for him on the outside?
Well, again, Jonas is doing what I think we all know that he's capable of doing, but I go back, it's not just Jonas, it's everybody. I mean, the guys are on the court there, like between Josiah, Santi, and Z. I mean, they would tell you that I think if you ask Jonas and Dalton, that question, I think they would say what I'm gonna say, that the things that Santi and Josiah and Z do is the backbone of what happens out there, because of what they do defensively and really their consistency on the defensive end, and even nights when, as we've talked about, not particularly shooting the ball well, they impact winning. But we need them all, and Jonas, we're gonna need him to continue to improve. People are gonna certainly, we've talked about it, there's no secret, people are gonna try to keep him from going over his right shoulder, and he'll have to add to it, which he can, he's got it. But Dalton, obviously, is, I mean, what else can you say? He's given us something that we haven't had in a long time, but we're more than about 2 guys. It really, I hope to a point where we can talk about 10, 11 guys being in the rotation.
Obviously, Vanderbilt's a unique court layout, but are there challenges that come with shooting in a gym like theirs?
I don't know if I'd say that. I mean, it from a coaching standpoint, it's different. From a playing standpoint, I don't know if it is or it isn't, but it is what it is, and you deal with it.
What's been the challenge in getting Tobey to learn how to play without fouling as much?
It is a fine line. It's the ones that he's so aggressive wanting to get it in his mind, knowing that, okay, I can't get this one, I got to let go, as I continue to keep going with it, because we don't want to take away what he does so well. And plus, some teams are sending 2 guys at him to try to keep him off the glass, and he's not going to stop. He's going to keep going, but I think he's got to know when he needs to pull back a little bit.
So I was going to ask you, how difficult is it to not take away from that aggressive nature that makes him who he is, but getting him to walk on that fine line a little better?
I think it's maturity, and the same thing I would tell you about setting screens. Illegal screens and getting out on the ball screen covers and being a step late and knowing when to let a guy go, whether you're setting a screen or whether you can't get out and get into the coverage. Just not giving those cheap fouls that are, fouls that referees pretty much have to call because of where they are on the court. But the effort, again, I just think as he continues to grow, the way he has up to this point, he's just going to get better with all that.
Freddie's stayed patient through this process.
Yeah, Freddie's been good. I think he's realized that, he's like all young guys come in, not fully under, and Freddie's no different than Cam and Cade and JP. You put them all out there together, guys that we think are talented, and they wouldn't be here if we didn't think that, obviously. But they come in thinking they don't know what they don't know until they go through it, and now they realize how hard it is to play the game the way it needs to be played. But they all go through different phases of it, where they get through that phase where okay, I understand it now, instead of thinking that they're getting a bad deal and not getting a chance, because everybody's got a chance. From the first day you walk on campus, you got a chance to play. You got to earn it, and you got to earn it, the respect from your teammates. And I would say that all those guys, Freddie, all of them, they appreciate the effort that these older guys give them, but they want to play, which is a great thing. I'd be really disappointed if they didn't want to play, and it's just a matter that they continue to grow and know that, again, that we're going to need them at some point in time. We need them now, to be quite honest with you, because I do think that if we want to be the team we want to be in the last 6-7 minutes of the game, we need the guys that we close with to be the guys where they have that other burst where they can really finish strong.
For the guys that were on the team last year, what do you hope they learned from what went wrong in the 30 seconds of the loss of Vanderbilt?
Well, it's not just that one. I mean, it's the end of the game. I mean, I think back, Julius had a wide open dunk. He didn't dunk and missed some free throws, and then we left a shooter in the corner. But every game, whether it's that game or any game, we scrub it out, talk about it, and hope that you don't make those mistakes again.
Anything else for Coach?
You've been saying for the last about month, you need those young guys to step up. Do you feel you're getting closer to being comfortable with them in that position?
I do, and again, it all goes back to practice. You want to see a guy take a step forward. You don't want to see him go back a half a step or a step. And it's consistency, and that's where most guys come up short. Some teams, you have to play them regardless. And that's where a lot of teams sometimes are up and down because they're having to learn on the fly. But this team, we got older guys. So these younger guys, if they earn those minutes, it's because they've earned them. And they've done it through being consistent in practice, understanding the role they need to be in and what they need to do in terms of our schemes and everything that we're about. But like I said, we trust these guys, but it's up to us to continue to help them get where we need them to be.
Thanks, Coach.